We finally made it here at the Basin Recreation Trails, where we're catching up with pro mountain biker Erica Tingy, who's going to teach me everything she knows right here today.
That's right.
Tell me about your career as being a pro athlete.
Okay, so I started racing bikes when my son was a year old. So I'd been an athlete my whole life, but I'd never done anything professionally. And I really didn't even have aspirations of that. And then when my son was a little over a year, I decided to go try a mountain bike race. And I won the sport category by 8 minutes. And I'm like, okay.
8 minutes?
Yeah,
that's a lot.
It was a lot. And I knew something was real. And then in 2013, I finished the National Series third overall. So I was really proud of that.
That's excellent. Amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a cool trajectory. I started racing at 31 and
so I can start now.
You can start now. You're never too old. Like, that was the crazy part. I never expected in my 20s that I would all of a sudden have a professional career as an athlete in my 30s.
Very inspiring. So where are you at with your career right now?
So I raced professionally for the past 8 years, approximately. This would have been my 8th year. And this spring, I just decided to focus more on my skills company. Mm-hmm. So last year I was racing and making this skills company, creating this skills company. I have been teaching skills to mountain bikers for a couple of years, but last year I formalized my company into Women in the Mountains. And then this season I trained all winter and I planned on doing both. And this spring I realized it was just going to be too much. And so I wanted to focus on my skills company. And so this year I've just grown Women in the Mountains as fast as I can, or as big as I can, and it's been really fun.
Women in the Mountains is based here locally in Park City.
Correct.
Has it always been? Have you always been in Park City?
So I moved to Park City a couple of years ago because of these trails. I love these trails. We had been living in Las Vegas, and we decided when I started racing, I was up in Salt Lake and Park City all summer long because the training was so much better. And so we made the move in 2013, and it's the best. It's like I couldn't ask for anything more. It's the best trails. They have all around Park City. We have everything from beginner to the absolute expert, absolute pro, hardest stuff possible. So it's awesome for any level of any ride. They can come in and find trails they're going to love. No matter
Which
what.
sets up a great foundation for your company.
It does.
For me as a newbie, especially.
Exactly. So I have lots of access to easy trails, well-built trails. We have a bike park, Trailside Bike Park, which is awesome for developing skills. And the trails are so well maintained that I can take people almost anywhere. And I can really find what meets their needs. Like, I can meet the rider where they are. So if they're super beginner, I know where to take them. If they have more skills and they want to learn to do drops and jumps, I can take them other places. And yeah, the trails are great for everybody.
How does your clinic work?
So I have a beginner class and an intermediate class, and I also do private sessions. And so the beginner class is where I really love to get women who are just learning how to ride, or they were a road cyclist, and they're just trying to figure out how to mountain bike. And my typical beginner client is someone who has a mountain bike and they've gone out with their friends and they've crashed and now they're scared. Right. And so I love teaching those people how to have confidence on the trail. And so my beginner class is just one day, and we spend the morning working on skills and then the afternoon putting them into place on the trails. And we go really slow the whole day. It's a very non-intimidating culture. I try to make it really mellow and happy and a slow pace so that everyone feels comfortable. They can just learn without any fear or adrenaline.
I just saw one of your clinics get back, and that's got to be really inspiring to you, seeing women be so motivated to hit the trail.
Yeah, it is so exciting. I love watching the light go on in their eyes. I love it. Like, I teach something and then they take it to the trails, and like half the time you hear squealing, like, oh my gosh, I never knew I could do that. And I love it. Yeah. So, and what's fun is I really incorporate a lot of different things into my clinic. So the night before, we meet at Park City Bike Demos, and we go over their bike setup and make sure in Park City Bike Demos, make sure their suspension is set up right. And we kind of go through their bike fit just on the surface to make sure everything's good and running. And then we also incorporate into that evening just a little bit of mobility, because cyclists have a tendency to really hunch and their hips get really narrow or like really tight. So we do some opening and kind of give them awareness of, hey, if you're going to ride a lot, you might end up kind of like this, right. And we want to keep you with great posture.
Right.
So we do a
I feel like
little
we're
bit
the
of
best.
yeah, I know. Yeah. So, and then I also integrate a lot of the mental side of riding into my clinic. I talk about making sure we're creating a positive environment and with our words and like the whole mental side. I spend a lot of time, and I try to kind of play that in throughout the day so that we're constantly reminding that our brains and our bodies talk to each other all day long.
You are an overall Wonder Woman.
Thank you.
Extremely inspiring,
Thank you.
empowering to others, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to actually go ride.
I know,
So
let's
I think
go
we've
ride.
talked plenty.
Okay.
I need you to teach me what I'm doing.
I can do that. I'm awesome at that.
I'm a good hand.
Okay,
Yes.
you're a good house. All right.
While I put my new skills to the test, you check out Ron and Rand as they hit some big jumps at Trailside Bike Park. Only on Salt Lake City to Park City and back again. Let's go.